So, are you constantly fighting fires, dealing with those same old bottlenecks, and just feeling like your organization is, well, kind of stuck? What if I told you there's a powerful, proven way to systematically hunt down and just eliminate all that inefficiency? Today, we're going to dive into your first step on that journey to mastery, Lean Six Sigma. But first, I want you to think about something. Just take a second and really answer this question for yourself. Who is your organization's biggest competitor? You thinking of that flashy startup, or maybe that established giant in your industry? Well, the answer might actually surprise you, because for a lot of companies, the most dangerous competitor isn't outside the building at all. It's the waste, the rework, and all those hidden inefficiencies that are already lurking inside your own processes. Now, to fight this internal enemy, you're going to need a weapon. And that weapon was forged back in the 1980s, not in some fancy boardroom, but right on the factory floor of a company facing a huge challenge, Motorola. It all started when these engineers at Motorola looked at their quality programs and asked let's say, a brutally honest question. They were tracking defects, yeah, but they just had this nagging feeling that they weren't seeing the whole picture. See, back then, the industry standard was to measure defects per 1,000 opportunities. But for the team at Motorola, that just wasn't cutting it. It didn't give them the detail they needed to really get control of their processes. They knew they needed something radically different. And their solution was ambitious, to say the least. They decided to leap from measuring defects per 1,000 all the way to measuring defects per million. This was a massive shift in how people thought about quality. It demanded a totally new level of precision and control. But here's the crucial point. This was never just about a new metric. Six Sigma is all about creating a culture of continuous improvement. It's a mindset that's never really done, where the entire organization is just wired to optimize performance from the inside out. Okay, but how do you actually build a culture like that? You need a framework, right? A path for people to follow. And that is where the iconic Lean Six Sigma belt system comes in. The whole system actually borrows its structure from martial arts, which, when you think about it, is a perfect metaphor. This isn't about some one-time training session. It's a personal journey of growth, of discipline, and of gaining expertise over time. And the symbolism goes even deeper. The belt colors actually represent the life cycle of a tree. A white belt is the seed, right? A blank canvas. The yellow belt is the sun, seeing the light of new ways of thinking. Green is the sprout, becoming self-sustaining. It's this really cool organic metaphor for learning. And that organic journey is organized into a really clear, practical structure. This pyramid lays out a path for everyone in the organization, from just a basic awareness at the bottom all the way up to strategic mastery at the very top. So for us today, we're going to focus right at the beginning of that journey, on the single most important and honestly most accessible step for everyone in your organization, the white belt. So, what is a white belt? It's actually super simple. It's someone who understands the basic language and concepts of Lean Six Sigma. Their main job is to know enough to help spot problems and suggest ideas to the more advanced belts. They are literally the eyes and ears of the improvement culture. And the expectations aren't about doing complex stats or anything. A white belt just learns the fundamentals, what Lean Six Sigma even is, why it's so good for business, and how to spot the 8 common forms of waste. Things like defects, overproduction, waiting. We use the acronym downtime to remember them. And, most importantly, how to contribute ideas. Now, that sounds great in theory, right? But what does it actually mean in practice? How does a white belt with just that basic understanding actually contribute to a real project? So when a yellow or green belt kicks off a new project, they might use a problem-solving tool that looks something like this A3 template. Now I know what you're thinking. This looks complicated. There are a lot of boxes, a lot of analysis. It's a bit much. But here's the secret. A white belt's job is not to fill out this whole document. Their job is to help with box number 1, the problem statement. That's it. Their entire role can start with just being able to clearly and accurately describe a problem they see every single day. And absolutely nothing happens without that first step. Okay, so once you've mastered seeing the problems, the natural next question is, how do you start solving them? Well, that's where you level up and begin the journey to yellow belt. And the difference is powerful. A white belt sees the problem. A yellow belt starts to help the team solve the problem. They go from just being aware to actively participating, learning how to use that core DMAIC process. That's define, measure, analyze, improve, and control, and other tools to actually make improvements happen. And just look at the kind of tools they get to unlock. We're talking about real data analysis, using things like Pareto charts and histograms, understanding how to collect good data, and getting to the real heart of an issue with root cause analysis. This is where you go from just spotting waste to systematically getting rid of it. You know, every tree starts as a seed. Every black belt starts as a white belt. And the entire journey of transforming your organization starts with just identifying that one single opportunity for improvement. So, looking at your organization right now, what will you improve first?